It's tables, ladders, and chairs, but a kendo stick is fine, I guess.
Roman Reigns may lose Tribal Combat due to one major reason, according to wrestling legend. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa are set to lock horns in a singles contest for WWE RAW's debut on Netflix. Both men have been trying to take each other down since Reigns' return at SummerSlam, and their upcoming match on the historic RAW episode could add another twist to the intriguing Bloodline story. A legend recently weighed in on the result of the bout. Roman Reigns teamed up with the Usos, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk to pin Solo Sikoa and his Bloodline at WarGames. Since then, there have been multiple developments in their intriguing story. Bronson Reed, Tonga Loa, and Jimmy Uso walked out of the brutal match with injuries, and Drew McIntyre's return has turned things around for the OG Bloodline. During a recent edition of the Jim Cornette Experience podcast, the legend addressed the potential winner of the match and stated that WWE could shock the world with a Solo Sikoa victory. The veteran added that if Sikoa ended up losing, he might not be able to maintain his scary persona after losing two big matches to the OTC. We got Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman going not only now for an Emmy, but also potentially an award in cinematography. They've been fooling us for about 3 years now, so maybe Roman gets beat on this one, but maybe he gets beat in such a way. It would be hard to figure out a way to keep Solo scary if he just got beat at Survivor Series and now he gets beat on this widely watched special, because then if you do the heat afterward, you're just doing the same thing, said Jim Cornette. Solo Sikoa has promised not to bring his bloodline during his match with Roman Reigns. Addressing Roman Reigns' challenge on the latest episode of SmackDown, Solo Sikoa stated that he would keep his tribe aside to make it a fair game on WWE RAW's debut on Netflix. The tribal chief also sent a stern message to Reigns, stating that he would walk out of the historic show with a victory in the Ula Fala. Time will now tell what WWE has in store for their match. Maybe Roman gets beat on this one foot. Jim Cornette drops major hint who wins Tribal Combat match. WWE superstars Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa are scheduled to lock horns on WWE RAW's debut on Netflix. Both stars have attempted to take each other out since Reigns returned to the company at WWE SummerSlam 2024. Now, it has been reported that their upcoming match in the historic RAW episode could feature a major plot twist. During a recent episode of the Jim Cornette Experience podcast, the legendary managerial figure in pro wrestling revealed that WWE could surprise fans with a Solo Sikoa victory. They've been fooling us for about 3 years now, so maybe Roman gets beat on this one, he said on YouTube. Tribal Chief Championship discussed for Roman Reigns versus Solo match. WWE may not be done adding new belts to its already long list of championships. Per WrestleVotes, Hat Tip Steve Carrier of Ringside News, there have been discussions within WWE of creating an undisputed Tribal Chief Championship for the Roman Reigns Solo Sikoa feud. It's unclear if the title would be part of the upcoming Tribal Combat match between the former Bloodline stablemates on the January 6th episode of RAW for the Ula Fala that will mark the show's debut on Netflix. Of course, the rate at which WWE is bringing back old titles and introducing new titles, it wouldn't be a surprise if they fast-tracked an undisputed Tribal Chief Championship. Chelsea Green was just crowned the first ever Women's United States Champion by defeating Mikan in the tournament finals at Saturday night's main event. There is currently a tournament happening on RAW that will determine the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion. This isn't a problem unique to WWE, because AEW also has too many championships. At least the undisputed Tribal Chief Championship would presumably be very limited, since it's only relevant to members of the Bloodline. But the fight for the Ula Fala feels like more than enough for the Reigns-Sikoa feud. It will be interesting to see the direction things go for Reigns after his match with Sikoa. This would seem to be the blow-off of their individual rivalry, since they have both pinned the other in matches already. If The Rock is going to return and set up a potential match with Reigns at WrestleMania, it would seem likely to happen on the January 6th episode of RAW. He's been carrying the People's Championship belt around during his appearances at WrestleMania and Bad Blood. Introducing an undisputed Tribal Chief Championship into the mix would make sense given that The Rock and Reigns will both stake their claim to the title if they are going to square off at the biggest show of the year. First-time ever matches Roman Reigns can have in 2025 other than The Rock. Although he lost the undisputed WWE title at WrestleMania XL, Roman Reigns is still one of pro wrestling's biggest stars and a mainstay in the main event scene. He has battled the cream of the crop. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth freaking Rollins, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and many others have battled the original Tribal Chief. The WWE Universe has clamored for a blockbuster dream match between The Rock and Reigns for years. However, The Rock's schedule is packed, and there is no confirmation on if or when he will wrestle again. Rhodes is likelier to be his next opponent if he braces the ring. Nonetheless, there is still plenty of fresh talent on the main roster. In fact, the OTC is set to collide with Solo Sikoa in tribal combat on Raw's Netflix debut. If the dream match with the Great One doesn't come through, many first-time ever matches await Roman Reigns. During the build-up to Men's Survivor Series WarGames match, Big Bronson Reed joined the new Bloodline, forming a dangerous alliance with Solo Sikoa. The Oscilla was a strong addition to the group and was set to be a long-term member. However, an untimely injury inside WarGames prevented those plans from coming to fruition. Reed could have been a major thorn in Reigns' path, but he could pick up where he left upon recovery. Reed manhandled the OTC with ease when joining the new Bloodline. Furthermore, the former NXT North American champion is keen to become a top WWE star. Feuding with Roman Reigns would be a great way to make a statement. Number 3. Braun Breaker. The spear is one of the most devastating and popularly used signature moves in WWE history. On the current roster, perhaps no one delivers it better than Braun Breaker and Reigns. The unpredictable badass is a physical specimen with amazing athleticism. The velocity with which he delivers a spear could break a man in half. Likewise, the OTC has also achieved much success with his spine-shattering finisher. The spear versus spear dynamic is enough to build a compelling storyline for the two talented superstars. If Reigns and Breaker do lock horns, it would be a thrilling, fast-paced bout with sheer brutality. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu is almost inevitable. Suppose Reigns defeats Sikoa in tribal combat to legitimize his claim as Tribal Chief. Realizing his weakness, Sikoa could turn to his enforcer, Fatu, to get the job done. The Samoan werewolf has brutalized Reigns in the past. Considering his undying loyalty and love for his Tribal Chief, Fatu wouldn't hesitate to do the same again on Sikoa's orders. Reigns versus Fatu may not have the big fight feel of Reigns versus The Rock, but it would be a must-see. Fans would be interested in the match as Fatu is undefeated on the main roster, and Reigns